Welcome back to the channel, Crypto Trend Trader, with a quick update on Bitcoin. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you it's not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. These markets are extremely volatile, so please do your own research and trade responsibly. So here we have our Bitcoin chart. I'm on the 4 hour right now. This is a Coinbase chart, and did take that short off of the 91.75 range, and did get a nice drop down off of that. It was about a 6% move there. Still in an open position, expecting more continuation to the downside. We did find support on the 4 hour off of the 50, 55 moving averages. And then we got the retest up like we expected to the 8800 range. Fell just a little bit short to prevent the cross, but then we did get like immediate sell off, and then it got bought straight back up. So it essentially like was a double bottom right here, got bought straight back up and got a bullish close, but then it like bearishly was engulfing, and then again closed off all right, but now it's just starting to slowly fade off. So I think that was an attempt to defend the 10 and 21 cross and maintain the upward trend on the shorter time frames. If we look at the longer time frames still, switching over to the daily, you'll see we are still well above the 10. At this point in time, what it looks like is it looks like we came up and got rejected off of the 200 simple, and now what's most likely to happen is we're likely to come down here and then basically like test the 200 EMA. And what that's going to be doing is a lot of times you'll see when we're getting a golden cross on whatever time frame, like substantial longer time frames, the 50 is getting ready to cross above the 200. A lot of times what will happen is the market will come down and test that cross. So price action will come down and meet right at like the 200 and the 50 before it crosses. So somewhere right around here in like the $8,200 range. And then from there the market can make its decision. Is it going to allow the cross and get bought up and move to the upside, and then like trend, like the trending move will then continue for like usually a long period of time, like months or years after that, depending on what time frame you're looking at. And then alternatively, if we come down here to test it and then the defense is too weak and price sells off below it, then what it'll look like is just a fake out where the green will come up here, almost get the golden cross, and then it'll sell back off, and then we'll get continuation to the downside, and that confirms to the market that the selling pressure is too strong and then it's not ready to start trending back to the upside. So this is like a key point that we've been talking about basically on the market, essentially like decision point. And regardless of technical analysis, this, that, and the other, whatever you think you believe, whatever it is, at this point in time, I mean, nobody really knows which way it's going to go from here. So this is really a crucial point, and it's important to pay attention here, because even though it's not going to happen in just like a minute or a single candle or whatever, like whatever happens here, the trend is going to be like continually like strengthening in that direction from this point. So it is important to start like taking positions in the correct direction off of this move. And again, that's not financial advice, but it's a key pivot on the market. And I'm not talking about like a pivot for hours or days or even weeks, but I mean this is like potentially a pivot for months or even like potential like reversal point for like a multi-year trend. So it's very important time to be around and doing technical analysis and involved with crypto, but it is very important at this point in time to protect your capital more than anything, because the last thing you want to do is end up on the wrong side of a trade right before like a massive trending move, because like those massive trending moves, that's where the easy money is made. Like you always hear like all the nuances and stuff about like traders being new, and the worst thing that can happen to you is being successful in the beginning because you think you know everything. And boy, I mean, it is the truth, because if the market's just always going up, you think you're just like the best trader in the world. It's not until it starts going down when you realize like the important lessons and you start learning all this important stuff. And that's what's getting ready to happen now, is that easy money, the market moving up, and like everybody else can be following in, and we're early to the party. So if this is the big trending move and we do get the sell off and then we find support and move to the upside, like this could be big financial situation for anybody involved in these markets. So it's important to buckle up and pay attention here. And let's switch gears a little bit and look at our moving averages. And I'm gonna just switch some of this over and make it a little more visible. As you'll see, we basically got the move up here to 9200, just like we were talking about, expecting it to come up here basically and test that resistance and then sell back off. We immediately got the sell off to the 236, and as soon as it confirmed to 236, we got sell off down to 382. Again, just like we always talk about. Now look though, the 236 in blue is for this entire move, the entire structure up here, and then the white is just for this wave 5 right here. Okay, so for the wave 5, we've already come down almost to the 0.5 and got the move back up. You know, essentially like trying to get like the bounce back up to take out the high and continue to the upside. But as far as like the actual whole wave, we did come down and confirmed on the 236. Typically, once you hit the 236 of the blue right here, you're going to confirm that we did hit like a local high. So now what I would expect to happen is we basically get that bounce up here and then sell back off to the next substantial zone, and that would be the 382. And the 382 is essentially just retesting the breakout area from right here. So, you know, in the event that we can come down to the 382 and find support and then move to the upside, that's going to look extremely bullish. Now, if we come down here and we start selling off, finally, it could look extremely bearish. But in all actuality, nothing changes in this trend as long as we don't take out this low right here. If we come all the way down to like, this was 6,400. If we come all the way down to 6,400 and we don't take out that low and then we continue to the upside, that looks like a clear like swing on the market. It's a low and then a higher low. You know, at this point in time, it's tough to count. Like this counts as like a micro swing low, you know, so it's like a higher low, higher low, higher low. But until we really get like a legitimate like swing in the market, like one of these swings right here, one of these swings right here, right here, right here, until we get that sell off and we can come down and essentially find a higher low and then move back up. Until that happens, like we can't actually say that we're in an uptrend, because this is like, although this is like a micro swing, you know, we need a swing that's relative to this move right here, relative to this V shape right here. So in order to get that, we need to see like this could continue up or it could sell off right now and come down, but we need to see something relative in size and strength to like what's existing on the chart as of now. So and again, what I would expect to happen is, you know, typically based on what's been happening in this trend, I would expect this to sell off and come down here to either the 0.5 or the 618 over time, retest our breakouts. Like I was saying, you know, we could come down here as low as like 7,400 and still be like showing strength and moving to the upside and not even violating this green parabolic like trend line that we've been forming, you know, or like obviously we violated the blue one, and that's when we got like the strong sell-off here on like the shorter time frames. Let me switch over to that. And you know, that's why I use those parabolic trend lines, is once you do take out that trend line, typically like once that's taken out, that's the end of that portion of the trend, and then the next thing will happen is you'll come down and retest the previous trend line. And the previous parabolic trend line was off these two last like lows right here. So I would expect us to come down, and that lines up pretty well with the 0.5 and the 618. So I think that's probably like our target here, you know, for our next move. But in the meantime, we're just going to stay in the short position and basically just look where the market, you know, where the market moves. But we did move our stop loss down to, you know, below break even. So regardless, if we did pop back up here, if we came all the way back up to like the 8,900 range, and even stopped us out there, we'd still be in profit on that trade. But then, you know, obviously it could move down and we could get the continuation. That's worst case scenario, or it moves up all the way, just stops us out and continues to the upside. But regardless, you know, we're basically in a free trade now, and that's the goal, is essentially like take profits on part of your trade or to move your stop to break even, and then that way you can like afford to let your you know, let your trades ride. So well, there we have it, guys. We're expecting, you know, basically a bounce from this area. We may have already seen it, but I was expecting us at least to get back up to like the breakdown point of 8,800, and then essentially like coming down here and slowly getting like a like consolidation sell-off down to one of these key fib levels, and then kind of see what the market puts in from there. But again, I wouldn't rule out us coming down here, finding strength, putting in another lower high, and then essentially like testing for either a head and shoulders back to the downside, or like you know, break of a head and shoulders and then move to the upside, and break of the trend and continuation of higher prices, that we're all looking for. But as far as oscillator, indicator, fibs, everything like that, it's looking exactly like we said, guys. I would expect basically everything we've been saying to continue playing out. So there you have it, guys. Crypto Trend Trader, daily Bitcoin technical analysis, and I'm signing out.